of all, when Nathan called and left that voicemail, I would have been on the line.
Okay, I would be like, what you doing up? Hey guys, welcome back to Conversations with Jules. I'm your host, Julie, where we have real conversations with real people in real life. And before we jump into it, I want you to go ahead, click that subscribe button. It's right below. Make sure you like, comment, and more importantly, share. But y'all know what time it is. Y'all know why we here. I'm here with my girl, Nishay, and we are low-key losing it over this episode 4 of Insecure on HBO. For me, episode number 1 was the Get Back. Episode number 2 was all the keys. Episode number 3 was the setup. And now here we are, it's about to go down. And if you have been following our reviews, you know that Nishay has been on point with all of her writing notes. Just hasn't missed a beat. So Issa, Natasha, Melinda, whoever is on this production team, you might want to contact sis, because sis is on it.
On your head, okay?
And the one thing you were right about is that you've been saying Nate was going to come back, and we got a little glimpse of Nate. We didn't actually see Nate, but we heard his voice, and I was like, Nate!
I told you, episode, what is this, 4?
4, he did.
Yeah. I said like 4 or 5, we'll see him. Yeah. I didn't hear him, but. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yes, we got the little preview of Nate. Say it one more time.
I said plus Lawrence and Issa like chatting. I told you they were going to talk, but they still didn't say what that follow-up text was.
Exactly, like what was, and that was, I was wondering, like, before, she got that phone call, before it was like, oh, I gotta take this. It's like, what do you think that she was going to, like, what was the conversation going to be about? Was it going to be about Condola? Was it going to be about them? Like, what was it? And then
Condola, and he's probably going to say that in my impression, I was thinking he was going to say that I missed this about you, or remember when we said we wanted to have a family, Condola doesn't want to have a family, or something to that note, where it's like, yeah, right. I don't know if we're going to make it because and she's intimidated by us because they obviously didn't have that conversation on the phone, but when they saw each other at Tiffany's house, that's when it's gonna keep happening. Y'all have the same circle of friends,
and it's so close. The circle is so tight. It's so close. And for me, I was like, well, maybe he's gonna say, like, the reason why you haven't talked to Condola because she feels some type of way. Maybe he was gonna spit it all out. I didn't think he was gonna spin it on like, I miss you, I miss us. I thought he was gonna be like,
time, because that's why he didn't say it. You know what I mean? If it was something so like, yeah, me and Condola not gonna make it, he would have just put that out there and have been like, okay, well, I can't deal with that right now. I got to deal with this kind of thing. She could have just been like, I'm so sorry, but I still got to deal with this. But I think it was gonna be a little more personal, and that's why he was like, no, handle that. We'll talk. I'm sure talk at another time. Which that just makes good TV. You want to keep prolonging it. Same thing with Molly and Issa. I told you they still weren't gonna have that conversation.
Girl, Molly and Issa. Well, first I'm gonna just say, because Kelly in this line, like, look at
Lawrence over there, looking like a provider.
Like, why is she always on time?
Tiffany too.
Tiffany
was ugly, wouldn't you? Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, that is. Listen, that's my character.
I hear you. And I do have to say, I agree with you now. Like, Tiffany kind of being that real friend, because even when Molly was trying to vent to her, she was like, y'all both on the same page. It's a miscommunication. And so, all right, kudos to you.
I'm telling you, character breakdown, that's my judge. But yeah, Lawrence and Issa chatting outside, it was kind of crazy because I don't know if they knew they were going to have like that baby time, like if they had planned it. Obviously they mentioned that Tiffany was like a planner and they didn't plan to have the baby, but this day it seemed like his friend was there, her friends were there helping fold, do laundry or whatever maybe it was something planned and she knew he could have been there. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of, that wasn't clear whether they knew each other were gonna be there, but it wasn't like, oh, hey, it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah.
Background. So, I think he could have possibly, in that text, in that DM, he could have possibly led to, I'm gonna be at Tiffany's and whatever the husband's name is. I don't know his name. Hopefully I can catch up.
Why don't we know any of the male characters' names? Like, what's the, all we know is Dro. We know Nate.
We just aren't paying attention.
Irrelevant. Just as Condola was irrelevant because she was not in this episode. It was like, Condola who?
I told you she was gonna start like tapering off.
You did.
I know she wasn't gonna be in the episode as a whole, the entire episode. Like, she didn't even get a voice appearance or anything.
She sent a text. We got a text from her. There was a text.
But I'm saying we didn't, as an actor,
I know.
She is not registered on episode 4. Not gonna episode 4. But yeah, I'm just wondering if they knew they were gonna see each other that day, and if he had already planned, like, I'm gonna tell her this or say this about Condola when we meet up at Tiffany's.
Yeah, and then that whole misconception that Molly has put in her head about her and Lawrence is like, sis, you don't even know what's going on. Like, they're not out there creeping around. Like, they're not doing that. They had a conversation and you made your opinion about it because you think she's messy, but you're also in your feelings because Issa said, you know, you back to the old Molly, and Molly's really trying to change. Molly is really out here trying to like be in a full relationship. She's committed. I love to see her growth in this episode. Her growth in this episode is like
so good,
girl.
Yeah, it's almost like watching somebody's love story unfold to get to the marriage point. Like, it almost feels like they can take it in a way, almost like if you remember, like, Girlfriends, like we were saying, how it was like a Tony and Joan.
Yeah.
Almost like that, where Tony was the one who got married first, even though Joan was like the main character. So it was like a lead up to season 6, where it's like that's the season finale, could be Molly's wedding day. Like, I don't know. I'm not in that writer's room, but the build up of this relationship.
Issa, Natasha, Melinda,
Carter Shay. Yeah, I'm there. I had this whole character backstory and forward story in a month. Yeah, so I don't know what the finale of that relationship will be, but it seems like that's where it's leaning towards because we're getting so much pre of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many scenes with them developing their relationship. Like, if it wasn't important, it would be kind of cut and dry. Like Dro's, if you think about it, Dro's my AirPods are gone. Let me just put them in. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So because Dro's, just in retrospect, Dro's scenes with Molly were just so like cut and dry because it was just about really the sex, introducing that crazy throuple open relationship thingy that they were. It was about that. Now this is about Molly's developing as a character, as a girlfriend, as a lawyer, and then even now as a grown best friend.
Yeah.
Because that was hard to watch. The like rejection from your best friend like that is like, and I just go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, that whole thing, I was like, oh, I was cringing watching, because again, you don't want to see this friendship fall apart, because you like, this is the friendship you've known from the beginning of Insecure. So like, for that to like be like, I was just joking, like, this is something we would laugh about, what's up, and for it to like still be like kind of teetering down because they're in their feelings about separate things and they haven't come together yet to have their conversation. Like I said, I don't want things to change. I said this before. I don't want them to change.
Come on. Yes, you do. Because otherwise you'll be watching paint dry. You don't want it to change. You just want to keep laughing at them. But their lives will always be in constant motion because of this. But what do you think
was the hardest part to watch? Was it Issa actually asking? Because if I was Issa, I wouldn't have asked, but that's why I'm not Issa. I just wouldn't even have asked her, but she's like so desperate, I think, at this point to make it work. I get it. But then even Molly, like, kind of saying she would ask him was like, first of all, you lying, but she told her. But number two, she putting it out there that she want to keep those two parts of her lives separate. That's what Issa was like.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rejection for me was the hardest part to watch, because it's like, for me, and being the kind of person that I am, it's like, oh, we're cool. I'm banking on this to work out. I've already planned it working out. Like, this is, I'm set. I'm good. And then I'm coming into this like with my cheery self, like, hey girl, hey friend, so what's up? And then it's like, oh, I'm not doing that. So it's like, that part was like, dang, Issa, you almost had it in the bag. And it's like, that type of rejection, like, for me personally, if I put myself in that position, like, that would hurt.
Well, was it like you wanted it to work because of their friendship or because of her career?
I wanted it to work because of their friendship, and not even that Molly had to ask him and had to do that, but I just think that if Molly was feeling that from the jump, then she could have said that from the jump.
She kind of has been showing the audience that she wanted to keep it separate from jump, but not Issa, and that was a part of like that whole thing, like, we need to talk, which never got done. But this will just add to what they need to talk about.
If they'll ever talk.
It is going to be, I mean, it's probably going to be in the season finale. And I'm glad that I told you, again, if the block party is in the next few episodes, that's obviously not going to be the season finale. It's going to be her and Molly.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we are 1 month away.
Yeah, but each episode is like a month after, right? So next episode is the block party.
Yeah. So circling back to Molly and Andrew.
Get to some of those notes you have. Show those notes.
So these are my review notes that I take. It looks like a lot, guys. But it's not really a lot. It's not.
But at least we know that you're serious.
So circling back to Molly and Andrew. I mentioned before that I love seeing Molly's growth and her growing as a person, and especially wanting to make this relationship work. Right. At first, I was like, Andrew, you can adjust a little bit better to this schedule, because even when he walked in and she was like, this is going on, that's going on, he was like, come on, like, you can hear me talk for a minute, like, it's all right, we can talk about it for a second. But then at the restaurant, he made like a really good point of like, where do I fit in? Like, I'm trying to balance all of this, and where do I fit in? But I also feel like, Molly, why are you upset because he made other plans? Like, you always making other plans, sis. Why are you upset?
I don't know if it was an upset more so than a disappointment that it came to this. That's kind of what I got from it, because you don't realize how much you work until after the work is done. Essentially, that's like, she was supposed to be done at 9. It was 1:40 something when she was finished. It's like, yeah. When you're into your career, into your business or whatever it is, time is so. It's not a point. The point is you have to finish. The point is I have to be good at my job. The point is I have to sacrifice sometimes. I don't have a family in this at home. So it's pretty much my responsibility to stay here. Like, they showed that meeting between the women in the conference room. And it basically like, I did have plans, but it's like the wife's and mother's plans take precedence over a single person's plans, like, to go have. I think her work schedule, and I don't know how much they communicated before. She was saying work is getting really crazy, but it's hard early on in a relationship when you're just like getting to know people and getting to know how serious people are in their jobs and in their careers and how much people work. So it could have been an instance where she was communicating, but only to cancel. So I get that. I get Andrew's point. I do also think there has to be a little more give from him too, because he sees that it is actually work. Like, we are actually working. But then too, here is bringing up communication again. As soon as you walk in, you need to tell me you're going somewhere else after this. Don't wait until I oh, I want to do this and this and this and this. You'd be like,
oh
sorry.
yeah, I got plans. What? And relationships are work, and it's not just the relationship between Andrew and Molly, but even the relationship between Molly and Issa. Like, it's work, and it's not just a pick up the phone and we're good, or it's not just I'm gonna shoot you a text and we're good. Like, it takes that communication, it takes that same give back. And even in the scene where Molly and Issa called Molly to set up the whole Live Nation thing. Like, Molly was ready to talk. She thought she had her girlfriend back. Like, okay, what's up? Listen, girl.
Right.
Right. And Issa was like, so, okay, enough about that. Listen, I got this thing.
Right.
And yeah, I think that also like pushed Molly back to her, like, you know what, I can't even give you the time of day. So
yeah, and that's why we're saying, I know Issa was desperate, but that they both want to be friends. It's just they keep missing the mark with each other. They, like when Molly looked out the window and obviously made her judgments, the same kind of thing. It's like you missed your mark to being a friend. Like when she came back in, that's the time to be like, girl, what's going on? You know, be a girlfriend first before being slightly judgmental. Just like when Issa called Molly and she was like, you know, they're coming from two different places. It's coming from, we have not had our talk. We're missing our self-care Sundays. Like, I don't really have time to be girlfriend right now. I'm in work mode. Like, I love you. Yeah. That's cool. Can you help me? So from Issa's perspective, it's like, you know, this isn't so bad that I'm asking this, even though we do need to talk, but I never ask you for any, you know, or rarely ask you for anything. Even when she was on the street, she wouldn't even ask her for a place to stay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I never asked for anything and I need this. So I get that, but it's also like, it was a missed opportunity to just be girlfriends again.
And just talk, yeah.
For both of them. And then she could have Molly could have communicated that. Girl, I thought we were going to be talking about such and such. You know, you got to make time for me too. You know, we still got to have our talk. Like, you know, those kind of things. But both of them are insecure.
There it is. They be tied together.
First of all, when they called and left that voicemail, I would have been on the line.
Okay, I would have been like, what you doing up?
What you doing? What you doing leaving me a voicemail? I've been like, oh, what you doing over there now?
Right. Is Andrew home? Because I can stop by.
I'll use some game right quick. This is how you get a man. If you haven't seen a man for a long time, or if you want to see one, are you hungry? That's all you need to ask. Are you hungry?
Listen, you hungry?
What did you eat today? No. Don't even volunteer to stop by. What did you eat today?
I don't know. I was going to stop by a taco place, or like, we can go pick up tacos, or we can go do...
No. Just say, are you hungry? What did you eat today? And let him take it from there.
Dating 101 with Michelle classes will be resuming next week.
Right. First is, if they ever slide in your DM, say, what you doing up this late? Start there, number one. Number two, if they leave you a voicemail, call back and say, are you hungry? What did you eat today? We'll talk dating tip number 3 in next episode.
Okay.
What else you have on your nose?
What I got from the scene with the cars parking.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So for me, what I got from that was a glimpse into Issa being passive aggressive. Like, first of all, clearly Issa had the spot. She was in there. She's basically in the spot. That's number one. Issa, you should have stood your ground. But I feel like that was like her passive aggressive like nature and behavior, without her saying, like, because I don't think, honestly, even if I try to like create a storyline for them beyond Insecure, like before we like dive into it and after, I don't think she's ever like stood up to Molly in any way, like in anything that she's done or anything. Like, even if we think about the episode or the season where she was at Baldwin Hills with the kids and they were having their little communication issue then. I mean, Issa may have said some things that were like, listen, you messy too. don't come at me. But it still was, she wasn't standing her ground. She wasn't like, no, Molly, cut it out. Like, she never really, like, she throws little jabs here and there, but she's never standing up, never rooting for herself, and never being like, this is what I'm doing, and you need to respect it.
I agree with that, minus the aggressive, just passive.
Okay.
Just her being passive in that moment. They haven't changed since last week. That Lawrence is going to come back again and make a push back toward Issa. That's the same thing like with Condola asking if she never cheated, would you have broken up with her? And the answer was no, clearly. I do think he's still in love with her. I do think Nathan's coming back. He slowly peeled his way in, clawed his way into this episode. But hopefully he makes an appearance at the block party next episode. Yeah. I'm glad that the block party will be episode 5. So that means we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to like get to the good, you know.
Right, get to the good.
Yeah, we're gonna get some real character exposition out of that, and I think that's gonna be awesome to watch. So,
yeah, I mean,
I think those
besides the block party, of course, popping and being amazingly great. If anything comes from like Lawrence, Issa, and Nate, I feel like if Nate shows up at this block party and Lawrence is there, or Lawrence gets wind of it or something, you're going to see more of Lawrence's jealousy come out, and you're going to see like that I shouldn't have let her go. Like that may be like coming out soon.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in again and watching our You on Insecure episode 4. We are also in season 4. And if you have not subscribed, now is the time to go ahead and click that subscribe button. Remember to comment, like, and more importantly, share, because sharing is caring. We will be back again next week for episode 5, which is a block party. We're a month away. We're about to jump into it. Hopefully Schoolboy Q comes through. Hopefully we see Nate. Come on, Nate. We need you, Nate. And yeah, so we'll see you next week with our 5th review. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Bye.